You try to bring me down, but I keep rising. You aren't ready for this fight. Oh no, I will burn your dreams to ashes. We've been breaking each other down for so long. Do you like to see me cry? You get on your knees this time. Your tongue can do more than lie. I know we're wrong, but we feel so right. We can't break free, dragged down by me. Take me. We're bad for each other, tear into each other, beads of blood run down your back. While I'm on mine, your tongue can do more than lie. I know we're wrong, but we feel so
And the earth fractured under the weight of gods at war. There was a fragile peace, and within it, a fragile hope. This was an age before the Legion construct, before mortals dared to contain the infinite within the finite, and before the gods turned their gaze downwards with envy and wrath. In this age, a coalition was forged, not of kingdoms nor empires, but of survivors. Refugees from calamities both mundane and mystical, celestial and self-inflicted. They gathered at the edge of the known world, united by a hope to forge a new future. This is their story, a tale of choices made in the name of hope, of alliances forged in the fires of necessity, and of a mortal coalition whose legacy would ripple throughout the ages. And so the prologue begins. Behind the Veil.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Behind the Veil, a You Are Lead series. I am your hostess with the mostest, Penguin. I knew it was one of my Christmas presents from this. Yeah, Eric Fournier. I am the GM of this adventure, and telling this story with me today are our three new faces and one returning face who will be joining us shortly when they are able to make it. So let's begin by introducing our new faces in the room. Who would like to start? Who would like to start? I give the floor to you. Who would like to begin?
Here, I'll jump in.
Done.
Why not? Hi, I'm Kevin the Fight Guy. I'm former stunt actor. I still do a little bit of fight choreography, and I am a streamer here on Twitch as well. Do variety games, but mostly been playing a lot of Stardew Valley and Minecraft. Like, you know, the mature adult I am. And now playing some D&D. I did a guest on the Monday show a couple of months ago as Thor Odinson, and had so much fun I had to come back and play some more.
Woo! Thank you, Kevin. Yes, I was gonna say, Kevin, if you're not gonna mention it, you got to mention it. You were Thor Odin's son.
With a
Awesome.
kill
Amazing.
count of 22 in the first 3 seconds that I showed up. Whoops.
Yes, yes, yes. And this kill count includes and is mostly mostly
all
completely all
friendly.
friendly fire.
All friendly fire. Yeah.
Yeah.
Whoops.
As we are learning in this world, the gods don't always know what they're doing, and sometimes they don't do the right thing, unbeknownst to themselves. Anyways, and if anybody is wondering about those adventures with Kevin as Thor, you can check out the You Are Legion. What's the word I'm looking for? The
YouTube
back
channel.
episodes, the YouTube channel, exactly,
Yes,
the
the
YouTube channel,
VODs.
and the also the channels, the channels, not the channels. What's the word I'm looking for? The other episodes that we have recorded that are on Twitch here as well. So 2 places where you can check those out. Amazing, thank you, Kevin. Moving on to Mjon, that looked like was that that is a delicious face, or was that a I'm questioning this.
No, that was a that's delicious face. My name's
Amazing.
M. John Kennedy. Yes, I'm an actor about town. I run the acting program at Randolph College. I'm a casual role-playing game person. Tonight I'm playing a halfling druid character who I've been playing in a game run by a buddy of mine who moved to Tokyo. And it's one of the ways that we stay in touch is that on Monday nights for me, which is Tuesday morning for him, we have this game that we play. And so I was like, when Eric mentioned this thing, I was like, well, I can try to import this character into this world and see if it fits, and we'll see how that goes. And yes, you might see my wife Dahlia Katz wandering in and out, who everyone here knows as a director and a photographer in theater and about town. But yeah, that's me. Happy to be here. And I have no experience with Twitch. I'm
A Twitch virgin. Oh my gosh.
yeah, here I am as the Luddite that I am. Oh, we did watch it on Twitch once. There you go.
Oh,
yes.
yeah,
So
amazing.
here I am.
Well,
hooray!
thank you. Welcome. And the beauty of this You Are Legion world that Koi created years ago is that it is a multiverse, and so your character can be the same character, just as most of us are now familiar with multiverses, with particular large company, with a big mouse as its head of state, if you will, with their series of hero movies. We know that multiverses, you can have multiple versions of the same character who through what if questions can have different versions and different stories and different lives and different worlds. So here we are. Right. All right. And last but not least of our new faces, we have Dom. Dom, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hey, so my name's Dominic. I am a performing artist. I sing, act, and dance. I also do a lot of stage combat. I actually graduated from Randolph a while ago, 2012. I've been playing D&D for a while now, actually. I DM my own game and have been for the past, I'd say, 6 years. So I've become pretty familiar with the tabletop. It's my favorite, one of my favorite pastimes, and I'm super excited to be here. I got the chance to take part in the holiday episode that was run here, which is awesome. Loved it. Little kids on bikes role play game. It was fantastic, and I'm excited to jump into some deep D&D here. I'm excited. It's gonna be good.
Yes. Shout out to that Christmas episode with the kids on bikes mechanic. That was a fantastic one. That one, sadly, chat, that one has been lost to the Twitch. We did not save that one. I apologize. That's my own fault. I totally remembered the Thursday morning after 1 week. Twitch goes, you didn't save it. I'm sorry, it's gone, and so I apologize for that. But Kids on Bikes will return. If not by me, because I thought that system was amazing. So I will definitely be bringing it back for some one shots here and there. But I know that Koi, who who was, I should say, because at the moment we have another GM on the Monday nights. Was the GM who was doing the UR Legion Monday night crew, is also a huge fan of that system and is toying with the idea of uh, of leading some sessions with that system. So cannot wait for that to begin. Our last player is John Smelser, who will be arriving a little later. His youngling is always a quantity, and so he joins us as at his earliest convenience, and so he will be arriving shortly to join us. And so, to continue with my small little intro here, that is not the only player. That is not the only player in this story. Last but not least, you, chat. You. Yes, you are active in this party as well, as you are the gods watching our adventurers, and you can help or hinder by granting a reroll, give advantage, or give disadvantage. At the moment, you have free reign to do this whenever you want, as long as you have eternity points saved up. And all you need to do is to click down on the bottom right hand of your screen. If you're new to Twitch, if you're not familiar about this, bottom right hand corner of your screen, you have a little thing called your eternity crystals, right? Click on those, and if you have enough, you can redeem them for a reroll. Just let us know the gods deem it so and who you are giving this reroll or disadvantage to. Yeah. So welcome everyone. Welcome. Tonight's episode, episode 3, part 1, is entitled "Something Furry Happened on the Way to the Forum," and I begin with this little intro here. Imagine crackling of a radio. Tensions are rising between many of the nations, kingdoms, and cities to the east of the coalition of cities. At the heart of all of it is the nation of Wanfidia. The leader of the Wanfidia nation, General Rooksmell, has been under a lot of scrutiny from the leaders and governors of since the massive explosion which occurred mere kilometers from Wanfidia's capital of Lembara. For months, the general continues to deny the eyewitness reports of a coalition of cities airship seen coming from Lembara's seaport, flying erratically, then dropping something into the sea before the explosion, and continues to and holds firm to her story of the explosion being part of an experimental testing of a new method of tracking and hunting large marine wildlife, which had gone catastrophically wrong. Heads of the coalition government have equally been under scrutiny for the rumors that it was a coalition of cities airship that was reported seen. They also hold firm of no knowledge of any of this, especially since no coalition airship fly to Lembara or any place in Wanfidia lands. While all parties are denying any wrongdoings, tension in the area have prompted the coalition to bolster Solar Knight's presence along the eastern border. In other news, ... And so this is where we start our adventure today. And so let's get on with our adventure. And remember, chat, you are the gods. Use your power as you see fit. Now, before we get started, by jumping in with one of our new characters' introductions here, since we do have, I was thinking, since we do have Kevin here, who usually, as he explained, is a Twitch streamer. One of his usual things that he does at the top of every single one of his streams is called a sociable, and so in honor of which I when I'm watching, I'm always partaking in the sociable. Kevin, would you like to since you're so eloquently explain this every single time, would you mind just quickly explaining what does the sociable mean and lead us into?
A sociable is something I picked up in many a Highland game Kaylee, a party where bands are up on stage and they want to enjoy and have some fun with their audience and I pick this up and I use it on my streams. A sociable is an invitation to have a drink with us, be it an adult beverage, if you are legally able to do so, wine, whiskey, beer, whatever, or if you cannot, or you simply don't want to, pop, soda, coffee, tea, juice, straight dihydrogen monoxide, call it out, raise a glass, have a drink with us. Sociable!
Sociable! Ooh, ooh, that's delicious.
Thank you, Chad.
Delicious. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Kevin. All right. We got our big, giant, pink, fuzzy dice. Let's begin. So, we start our adventure. Actually, Kevin, since your microphone is still unmuted, let's begin with you. Kevin, where do we start today's story? And what do we see? What do we hear?
Oh, okay. Sorry, I was just noticing Vic jumping in there. Note to self: yes, they start at 7, not 7:30. Yes. Hi, Vic. So we are at the modest residence of Kieran Alher. I am just returning from another mission. I have been debriefed, gotten rid of all of my extra gear, coming home for some much needed rest to sit back and relax. I had turned on the radio and heard the latest news about the aquatic mishap, and just kind of sat there with a grin on my face, as if like I might know something, or I might not, or I might just be enjoying big explosions and stuff going on. And I'm going to sit down and try to just relax for a little while to some nice nature sounds.
Amazing, amazing. You relax for not even 5 minutes when suddenly there is a knock at your door.
I'm going to get up. And as I'm going to open the door to the side, I've got my weapons very close to hand behind the door, just in case. And I just kind of pop my head around to see who's there.
As you open the door, at first you see the a person standing in front of you. Remind me, how tall is your character again, Kevin?
That is an excellent question. I am, if I'm not mistaken, 5'9". I'm medium
Amazing.
size. I'm 5'9".
Okay,
Normal
cool,
size.
cool. So standing in front of you is someone who is about your height, maybe like an inch taller, 5'10" perhaps. But they seem very thin, very rail thin. And a large, heavy coat is over their shoulders, and you see some fur lined on the inside, and you see leather garb underneath this large feather lined overcoat or fur lined overcoat. The person in question, upon you opening the door, turns and you see a very thin, gaunt, pale face looking back at you, with very dark eyes, and he turns and, oh, hello, you have been ordered to enter to you have been called into work at the following time, and they pull out an envelope and hand it to you. All information can be found on the paper within the envelope there. Your presence, as usual, is requested on time. Do you have any questions?
I'll open up the envelope, take a look at the paper. Is there anything outstanding? Is there anything unusual?
Everything. You seal you see the stamp, the seal of the solar knights on at the very top. The paper is very straightforward. While this may be slightly not exactly how they often reach out to you, but it's not unheard of that they send you a slip of paper and say, hey, you have a job. But everything is nicely, neatly typed. The exact location where you usually meet up is the exact address, exact everything. Time is 7 p.m. sometime in the late evening. Again, all of this does not seem out of the ordinary.
Does it list who the contact is?
It does not.
I'll. And I'm going to be asking for whom?
You'll be asking for you'll want to arrive on time, and you'll want to go to the room 3B on the second floor. As you are aware, that is quite a nice room with beautiful dark walls. And your contact will be waiting for you.
No name. Okay. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
How long do I have until this meeting?
You have a couple hours.
A couple hours? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna freshen up, clean up, gear up,
Mm.
and aim to arrive precisely when I'm designated to.
Amazing. Upon entering the room, which no problem, you enter into the building. Everyone there, no one bats an eye when you walk in, right? Most people seem to know you. A few of the officers that when you walk by them, they kind of nod, or they do one of those sort of things, and they just let you walk through. And upon arriving at the room 3B on the second floor, you enter. There sitting in the room are two elves. They are both just sitting, waiting. Actually, upon getting closer to the door, you can actually hear some muffled conversation as they're clearly having quite the heated discussion. Non, mais tu ne comprends pas. C'est exactement que ce que je comprends. And the other one is like, non, 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 non. Quand and they're clearly like having a bit of like a spat, if you will, some sort of like not agreeing on something. But as soon as the door opens,
I'll give it like a minute or two before going in to just sit and listen to figure out what the argument is and just what situation am I walking into.
Go. So roll for me a perception check. Let's see how well your how good your elf ears may be. Wait, elf? I can't remember.
Half.
I forget. Half elf.
I'm only half elf. Perception, you said?
Mm-hmm.
20.
Amazing. All right.
It's a dirty 20. It's a dirty 20, but it's a 20 nonetheless.
Oh, fair enough. So you hear these two voices on the other side. No, but you do not understand. Okay, no, sorry, they weren't speaking English before. Quand tu prépares le buffet, il faut toujours préparer les mets en viande. Et ensuite, tu commences et peut-être tu vas au boulanger. Non, tu vas au boulanger avant. Et quand tu arrives, tu coupes tout et tu prépares. Comme maman t'avait expliqué, right, il faut toujours préparer les légumes et ensuite tu prépares la viande parce que tu ne veux jamais toujours que les viandes soient trop préparées. And it's just there's this back and forth. And if you understand Elvish, you quickly pick up that they are speaking about preparing a meal, and which order they both do not agree. They both clearly they were both raised. You understand they're both raised by the same person, their mom. But but they clearly both got different teachings from her when it came to preparing food, and that's what. And basically, they're butting heads as to their preferred method uh, of doing
Okay.
so. That is the conversation that you can hear muffled behind the door.
Alrighty. And I will just enter in completely nonchalant as if I have not been listening to the argument about mushrooms.
Amazing, 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 right? And as you enter, the female-looking elf at the door is just like, "Et c'est tout, okay? On est fini. Good day to you, sir. Please join us." And she signals to the chair.
I'll have a seat where indicated.
You join us today because we have called you in. The reason why you are probably wondering, the reason why you were no contact information is because you are being asked to meet with us. And according to society, we do not exist. We have been watching your performance for these last few months, and our director would like to ask you if you would like to perhaps we would like to have a what is the word? What is the word I'm looking for? What is that? I do not know what word you're looking for. You're the one speaking. You decided to take the you. No, it's all up to you. It's your problem now. Yes, well, never so much help, anyways. Perhaps you would like to have a little bit more responsibility with the safe being of the coalition. Perhaps you would like an improvement to what you are normally asked to do, or perhaps you would like a challenge. There are forces at work that we are working to control and to ensure the safety of the coalition, and our director thinks that you would be a good addition to the team.
Does it pay?
Yes, yes, it does. It can pay quite nicely if that is what motivates you.
It's one of the things.
But
Is it?
yes,
How much am I allowed to know before saying yes or no to this?
at the moment, you know enough. You know that we our purpose is to protect this land and to protect this coalition and to ensure the long life of it and its people. You will be doing a great service to the coalition in saying yes. But we also understand if this is too troublesome, if you prefer your comfortable life that you have at this time, this will be the last you see of us. I can assure you.
So this job is going to be uncomfortable.
Perhaps. I mean, I am always with this one here. And oh no, don't commencez pas ici là, okay? Basically, what we are saying. We have a job. If you would like this job, then you are welcome to come and to help protect the coalition. If again, if like my compatriot here has said, if you say no, this is the last you see of us.
If I say no,
Hmm.
hey, it's the last I see of you. Is this the last I see of anyone?
They both look at each other. Do we tell him? I think we tell him. Okay, we tell him. No. That was all a joke. We are just joking. That is a thing we like to do sometimes. No, 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 no. No. You do work for the forces of the Solar Knights. We are not going to stop you from doing said work. We just our director, who is often is in need of extra hands to help to do the work, reaches out and asks brave people such as yourself to step up and do sometimes the hard work that must be done.
It sounds to me like working to protect the greater good at great risk to myself. That will be compensated, and seems to be a step up above my pay grade currently.
If you say so, I actually do not know how much. Do you know how much he is getting paid? I do not know. No, I do not know. I mean, as far as I know, we handsomely kept well. What is the word I'm looking for? We are we they take care of us. That's all we need to know is they take care of us. That's all you need to know is that they take care of us.
Color me intrigued. I'm in.
Excellent. You are right. You are right. I thought this was going to be a hard sell. I should have known from you that this would not be. I told you. This would be. This person is clearly a man of duty, and this is why we spoke to you about the duty of what we do, and that is why we are here. And so yeah. So excellent. Okay. In about an hour's time, you will need to go to this address, and the female elf slides a piece of paper face down, so you don't see the writing on it at first. Slides a piece of paper to you. This address in an hour. You have time to, if you I don't know, if you have animal de compagnon, a pet. Yes, a pet. If you have a pet that you want to feed or something, you have time to deal with the things. But arrive in an hour at this place, and you will know more at this time.
Well, thank you very much. I'll take the piece of paper, nod, and head out. Once I'm in the hallway, I will take a look at the piece of paper, make sure nobody else is around. Take a look at the piece of paper, memorize the address, and then I will. Where are we?
You are sorry. I apologize. I should have specified. It's one of those things where it's
I'm assuming it's a hotel or an inn, a tavern of some sort with room 3B.
It's actually one of the one of the Solar Knights like headquarters, like one of the local, like one of the local Solar Knight division area place building. Yeah.
Then I will head down to the mess hall and I will have myself a drink. One drink, nice and easy. And get ready. I'm geared up. I left the house ready to go. I get these summons all the time, and it's like, okay, gear up, ready to go at like a moment's notice. I've got my bolt bag and everything, and just I'm ready to go. So I will go down to have a drink and waste some time, listen in on conversation that is happening around me, and just get a lay of the land and the sense of what is happening in the city and with the Solar Knights going on. You know me. I like to keep my ear to the ground. I want to know what's going on, and I'll get ready and to head out to be on time again.
Sounds good. Awesome. Thank you, Kevin. All right. I just realized though, did we even introduce your character's name during this?
Yes, I said Kieran Alharan.
Kieran, yes, thank you.
I said it was Kieran Alharan at the beginning.
Just wanted to make sure. All right.
For chat,
Amazing.
He's a half elf. He's a half elf ranger. If chat wants to know.
Amazing. Excellent. All right, and during Kieran's introduction to our little here, we have last and final player to arrive. Hello, John. Thank you. Excellent, excellent, excellent. We're just going through all the new characters introductions, and meeting all the new players and new characters. But we already did this with everyone else. But tell us a little bit about yourself. We did this back in episode 2 on our first episode. But just for anybody who's new, who are you, and how long you've been playing RPGs and that sort of thing, and yeah.
Okay, so I'm John. I grew up on Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, so that's basically how old I am. It took me a while to go from figuring out what the Tachyo is to rolling a d20. For those that you don't know what Tachyo is, get off my lawn. And that being said, I've probably been playing, I'd say, at least 25 years, on and off. Aside from Legion, one of my favorite settings is Forgotten Realms. I'm one of those type of people.
Nice, nice, nice. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Awesome. Thank you, John. Thank you, thank you. We'll swing back around to revisit your character in just a moment. But let's continue. Let's continue counterclockwise from what I have on my screen here. I have Dom next. Dom, where do we find ourselves now in our story?
What's the time of day? Or is it coming close to nighttime?
That's up to you. That's up to
Okay,
you.
all right.
Like at what point? At what point in the daytime space-time continuum do we find ourselves when we first meet
Okay, so
a new person?
nighttime, moon is out, it's bright, it's shining a nice moonlight across the landscape of the city, and you see a silhouette jump from one building to the next, to the next, to the next, performing certain acrobatic feats and making their way over. And then he stops at the edge of one building, and then just kind of looks down at his hands, and then takes off a mask that he had been wearing, which is a crying face drama mask. He takes that off, and he slides it back in his backpack, sees the fire escape, and then ends up sort of like flipping off the railing and then dropping to the lower floor of it, and then down and down. And then just as he's about to stick the landing and roll out of it, he does, and then collides into a trash can. Gets up, shakes off. He's like, oh, I really got to stick that landing. And then he looks around, and you see there's a window nearby, and there's a reflection of his face. And it is a half-elf male with olive-toned skin, bright orange hair, and he's got a short bow strung across his back, and he's wearing sort of like very simple clothing, kind of monk-like, ninja-like kind of thing. Those are the themes I went for. And he just kind of like looks off in the distance and then sees his favorite diner just across the way, who serves all-day breakfast, and he makes his way over.
Nice. Amazing, 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 amazing. Entering in, cling, cling, right? The little bell dings, right? And the person behind the counter sees you and nods, gives a smile, right? The halfling smiles, gives you a nod and smiles, right? And seems to almost immediately just go to the back and start preparing, like within moments of you sitting down at your spot, right? At your table, right? There's a coffee mug and a glass of water. Like, just you sit down, right? Both go down, and the half says, "Slow night."
Not quite. I just got off a job.
Yeah, you look like you're a little tired there. That's why.
As he like wipes the sweat off his brow. Yeah.
Yeah. That's why I brought you the coffee with your water. Thought maybe you'd want a little bit of a pick me up. I'll be
Appreciate
back in about 5 minutes with your food.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And they turn around and head to the back. 5 minutes later, they come right back out. Plate in front of you. Yeah. Anything else?
At this point, he pulls out a journal from his bag. On the top of it, it has engraved in the book. It says Valios, and then he flips the cover over, and then he starts writing notes. It's like a log of different jobs and stuff that he's done. He does this pretty much every time he finishes a job. Sees the food end on the table, looks over to the halfling and says, "Thank you. and then immediately like slides the book over and then starts eating his like eggs and bacon.
Nice. And the halfling walks back, and as he walks back to behind the counter, you hear him, start talking to someone who's at the counter. Being like, anything else for you there, friend? And this, not that this is not unheard of, that there are people at this time of night, right? But you didn't notice the person before, right? Like when you walked in, you're just kind of like blinders on sort of thing, and this is the first time you notice that there's this other person sitting on the far end of the counter, and the you notice that even though it was nice and cool outside, nighttime. Inside the diner, it's well kept, nice and warm. The fire is crackling in the corner, and the person that you are now noticing at the end of the bar is wearing this huge, heavy black overcoat that looks, very warm. And being right next to the fire is a little like, it's a choice, right? Um, the voice coming from this body is like, no, 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 thank you, I'm good, thank you. Just actually, a refill of this, please. And they hand over their cup, and you see their hands are very white as they hand over the cup. And the halfling's like, yeah, yeah, sure, no worries, yeah, yeah, just keep your cup there, I'll be right back. Halfling walks over, grabs, refills their cup. Is that it for you? Yes, that'll be all. Thank you. I will the bill. Thank you. Yeah, keep the bill. All right, cool. Right. Hands him the bill. Then this person stands up, and are you choosing to pay close attention to them, or are you kind of half paying attention to them, still eating your food? How much attention are you paying to them?
I'd say, I mean, I took in the environment once I noticed he was there, and then
Hmm.
just kind of kept an eye out, but was pretty focused on the meal at hand.
Cool, 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 cool. Um, upon paying the food, right? Um, you hear the little, clink, clink, clink of coins hitting the counter, and you're just, you're in your own little world, just kind of like, focusing, doing your thing, and you notice suddenly there's a body sitting in front of you at the table, at the chair across from your table. Yeah, across from you at the table.
Immediately, I grabbed the journal and put it into sort of like my I got this sort of like outfit that's got some like it opens up a bit, and I put it
Hmm.
underneath it and just
Of
kind of
course.
tighten up the thing, kind of wipe my hands a little bit, and just kind of like look at this person and just fork in my hand, about to grab more food. Like, can I help you?
In front of you is this average height, about 5'10", 5'11", but very thin, wearing this heavy coat, this heavy overcoat that you see is fur-lined on the inside. Leathers adorn, or the leathers adorn his torso underneath this thick coat. Very thin, very white, pale looking face. Um, and in his pale hands, he's got his mug that of whatever like coffee, clearly, that is steaming. Um, and he looks at you and goes, oh yes, I'm very sorry. Yeah, I should have. I'm sorry. I should have asked before I sat down. You're absolutely correct. I'm sorry. May I sit here?
By all means.
Oh, thank you. Um, how are you today, Velios?
All right. Business as usual.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. Yes. Um, I'm here today to request your presence. My superior, the director, would like to meet with you. You 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 are not in trouble. You are everything is but your presence is being requested at the following address, and they pull out a little piece of paper and slide it down face down so you can't see what's written on it. No one can see, but slides it over to you at the following address uh, tomorrow evening, if you will. So please, at about 7 o'clock, the address is there. I sadly cannot give you too much more information at this time, but I can tell you that you will. It is to your. The director would very much like to meet you. Would very much like to offer you a job. Very much like one that you tend to do from time to time, but this one might take a little bit more of your time. But my employer does not like to make house calls, and so usually prefers people to come to him. And so, if you would like to accept this job, information to where to meet would be there. In case you were wondering, because I get asked this a lot, you will be handsomely rewarded. Your regular fee and plus some is not a problem. Perhaps maybe my employer can also offer you something more, whatever you may think of. Um, have you had this before? This is a very delicious. I normally people in my office normally have this, but I normally don't. And this was I was very cold, and so I don't really. This is very good.
Yeah, I have one usually every night,
Ah, yes. I mean,
and
I like
I'll
it.
like I'll grab the paper and then I'll put it in my pocket and I'll be like, okay, I'm free tomorrow.
Excellent, excellent. Do you happen to have any other questions before I really must be going. I have another meeting a little later. I must prepare.
No.
Excellent, excellent. So again, more information will of course be given to you once you arrive at the location. Perhaps we will see again each other future, not now, but I really probably should stop drinking this. Good day.
Have a good
And
night.
they get up, and they walk off. You hear the cling of the door as a bell as they and exit the diner, the cafe diner.
So I'll take a look at the paper. Do I recognize the address?
Not really, no. I mean, like the address it says alley behind, and then it gives a specific address in Forge City. So it's specifically asking you to go to this one corner, like the bad GM. I haven't given a name to this alley. You know what? 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 In honor of Toronto, where the majority of us are stationed, or have once been stationed, it specifically says corner of Graffiti Alley and blah blah blah, and then it gives a specific address in Ford City. You know that district well. It is just off from the downtown core of Forge City. But yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
After that, I'll just Velios will head to the washroom real quick. Look at his bright green eyes in the mirror. Take a deep breath in, release, and then look down at his hands, and then try and wash the rest of the blood off of them that had been caked on a little bit before
okay.
going back to eat.
Whew, amazing. Whew, all right. Great. Excellent. All right. We now move on to Amjon. Amjon, please tell us when, where, as I mentioned to Dom, when and where in the space-time continuum do we find ourselves now?
Uh,
Well, we find ourselves in the city, which is not a place that Mkidu normally likes to find himself. Normally, spend a lot of time out in the wilderness, alone, not such a fan of people, buildings, noise, chaos. But noticed a notice in my part of the country and heard some ruckus about some future development coming out to that part of the wilderness. Pretty sure there's not actually any ownership or a question of ownership there, because my understanding has always been that that part of the wilderness belonged to my village, and they're not the ones who are decided that they're going to do something about it. So I've come to the city to find somebody to talk to.
Mm.
Took me a while to find where I need to go to talk to somebody. Had to go into a few different places and talk to some friendly and less friendly types before I found out which building I needed to go to talk to somebody about this. And of course, by the time I got there, it was closed.
Forge City is quite a large metropolis within the land, and so there as everyone knows, there's no other city like this one in the world. It is
Yeah.
massive, and it is just a hodgepodge, just like mixture of everything that you can think of
Of
from around the world.
smells and noise.
And yes, exactly.
And people and chaos. So now I've found myself having to wait until tomorrow to talk to somebody about this. So I went into one of these public houses and got myself a beverage, and they were playing the radio. And I got to listen to the noise and the news of the world. Heard something about some sort of airship chaos. Ugh. People.
Right. Why can't things just be quiet, right?
I did ask them to turn the radio down, and they went like, but I didn't hear any difference in the quality of the radio.
They probably even barely touched the knob.
I don't.
Right?
I'm not sure they
probably-
did.
yeah.
I think it.
Yeah.
I think it might have been just a sleight of hand attempt.
Exactly. Yeah.
And
The knob.
so
the
I
knobs are
passed the
probably
time. I had a very short conversation with one of the mice who was there, just in the building. Just like they're not very bright, but at least they're honest. How are things? And they're like, I like cheese, and I'm like, yeah, cheese is good.
Yeah, cheese is great, especially the cheese that we can find in the back. Some of the cheese that we find out back is just amazing. We find it in these containers and things, and like we figured out a way to get in. We just like chew the corner, and
It's great.
my cousin John was like, and then Barry, and then we all got in. Veritable feast. It was just fantastic.
Yeah, see? Mice. Mice are better people than people.
So within the din of all of this chaos,
Mm.
you hear suddenly the world seems to go a little quieter, and very calmly you hear a voice in this calmness. My friend, I know a place that's quieter. If you would like, we can make our way there. You seem disturbed by all the noise. It's a small cafe-like looking place just down the corner. Exit, turn right, 2 blocks. It's called the Fant. Find the Fant and much quieter. The mice are probably not as good of conversation, but
Oh, you noticed that?
it
All
was,
right, well.
But
Usually people don't notice when I'm talking to the mice. I will take recommendations for a place that is quieter.
Excellent.
So
I
this-
will join me here if you will. That would be lovely.
What's your name?
All in due time.
It's an unusual name. Well, Alland, I'll follow you, I guess, to this place. So I'm Kidu, this little 4-foot halfling druid, with red hair and a dirty face. Follows this humanoid stranger of some proportion to the Fant.
So, as the voice described to you, right? You stepped out, turn right, go down 2 blocks, and at the corner there, yeah, you see this little tiny sign, and it just says the Fant, right? Big giant A, right? It's like basically takes up like the H in the is part of the A, which is just like this just massive A, and then Fant is just right underneath the other letters of the right. I don't know. Someone was clearly trying to be really artistic with this, and it clearly does not. It actually makes it more look like it says Tay font, but anyway, whatever, right? Because it's still an
Yeah.
A, not an H at the top, but whatever.
Tay
But
font.
Tay font, but yeah, but everyone calls it the Fant.
It's a big A.
So upon entering Tay font,
Huh.
when you enter, it is exactly that. It is quiet. You know, there are a couple of people, you know, sitting at tables, but and the light is in this room is very dim. The only source of light is the fire crackling off in the distance, and candles, individual candles at every one of the tables. And at the very
Dim.
back, and as you enter, at the very back, you see a hand, a gloved hand go up.
Oh, it's Olland. Go see what he's up to.
Yeah. You sit down at the table, and sitting in front of you, you see this this very, very fluffy white tabaxi, wearing white gloves, a very nice red and dark charcoal doublet. Like, this is a really nice fitted suit. It is like pristine. And in front of him, in front of this tabaxi, there's a small martini style glass, and the yellowish green eyes look up at you and thank you for joining. Please sit.
Yeah, well, thanks for suggesting this place that has a much more reasonable level of noise and
Yes.
light, especially for
Yes.
this time of day.
I
I don't know
agree.
why people want bright places at night. It seems unnatural.
I agree. I am quite fond of the nighttime myself. And actually, if you actually do see this place in the daytime, though, it is actually very clean. They do a very good job of keeping this place clean. That's one of the only reasons why I actually one of. There are many, but one of the many reasons why I come here. I cannot stand filth. It's just I cannot abide by it. It's just no. It's just not a thing. Not a thing.
You know, most dirt is pretty clean.
Yes, very true. Except tell that to my nice, pristine white gloves when I have to then, you know, clean them when it happens. You know, I yes. Anything?
I mean, yeah, something warm and simple.
Mm.
Do they have anything here made with leaves?
In fact, they do. Shall I order you my favorite tea beverage?
Sounds good.
Thank you for coming. I hear that you've had quite the day. Bureaucracy.
Well-
Can I? You know what I'm saying? It's
Yes, it is more difficult than I thought it would be to find someone to talk to just to get a straight answer.
yes. Well, I mean, that is why bureaucracy was built, right? To keep things moving slowly. Yeah.
I don't mind
like
I don't mind a slow pace as long as it's a steady one. My problem is all the dead ends you run into.
Again, ways to slow you down, control, and to ensure that what people want is what they get, and not what they don't want. If you catch my drift. In fact, actually, I don't even know what I'm trying to say right now. I'm not 100% sure what I'm trying to say either. I am so glad that I left politics. Well, I never really got into it. It was never really my thing. Boring. My parents, on the other hand, they loved it, but, well, my dad. But no, not for me. Not for me, not for me at all.
Is your dad still a bureaucrat of some kind?
Well, I mean, he's a lord of his land. Yeah, it's long story. Lord of the land. He loves the quiet life.
I
Now,
understand that.
yeah. He was quite the adventurer, though. At one point, I was told. Heard many stories. Good times. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it
Um,
can get dull sometimes, too much quiet.
True. Um, here's your beverage, and the
Hmm.
person comes over, places down a steaming beverage in front of you, a cup. Very nice, aromatic. It is with a couple of rose petals, the flower of the June. Yeah,
It's nice.
thank you.
Thank you.
I've
It's much better than that sour ale they were serving at that other place where the mice were getting fat on cheese.
yes. Well, let's just say that wasn't cheese. Anyways, to mice, they don't care. Apparently, I don't know. That's what I've been told, anyway.
Rodents do have a pretty broad palate.
Not for me though. Nope. None but the finest for me.
Hmm.
It's quite nice.
That's a lovely tea.
Speaking,
Thank you.
you're welcome. Speaking of the finest,
Mhm.
I know that you had some trouble today, but
Hmm.
I think I know someone who might be able to help you.
Really?
Yes. Um, but like everything in this world, there's a balance, tit for tat.
Mhm.
My employer would like to offer you a job, and if you agree to the job, he can help you with your problem. I understand that the land around your village is up for some sort of development.
Mhm.
I think it was a train passage. Is what they wish to is what I heard.
Ugh.
But I understand that we might be able to do a detour. Does not need to happen through that land. I
Great.
understand your um,
What kind of job?
well, the people I work with, we want nothing but the best for the coalition and its people.
Mm.
We care. We want everyone to be happy and to be free and to choose, and not just the people of the coalition. Really, honestly, in my opinion, I think we're trying to help everyone. Just some people just don't like help. But I digress. Enough about me and my past discretions. Um, yes, we can we can with our help we can help you to either get in talks with the correct people, um,
Mhm.
or I mean, it would not surprise me if we would be able to actually just make the changes ourselves.
Hmm.
Not unheard
That
of.
would be very
Actually.
helpful. For that, I'd certainly be willing to do a job.
Excellent. Glad to hear it. I mean, you can always say no. That's not a problem. That's we're not forcing you. We're just asking you.
Why would I say no? What kind of job are we talking about?
You're right. What was I saying? I don't know. I've been drinking too many of these. It's been one of those nights.
Hmm.
Well, if you
If you can help me with my problem, I'm happy to help you with whatever problem you're dealing with.
reaches into his coat pocket, what we like to hear, slides you a piece of paper on the table, face down, so you cannot read what it says on it. On the back here is an address, also directions. I also understand that you are not from Forge City, so you might have a hard time finding this address. But there are directions. If you wouldn't mind arriving at this address for 7 p.m. tonight,
Mhm.
gives you about an hour or so to look around, maybe talk to a few more mice.
Mhm.
Um,
If I get lost, I can always ask the rats.
exactly. Actually, I think they have different names for the streets and the alleys, but you never know.
I could, worst case scenario, ask some people
Oh,
if I get lost.
this is very true. Actually, most people who live here in Forge World will know exactly where.
All right, well, I'll be there in an hour. they
Excellent.
serve any food here as good as this tea?
Yes, actually they do. They have a full complement menu. It's actually right here, and the tabaxi pulls piece of like a menu off from the table, hands it to you.
Mhm.
Oh, I forgot. My name is Bryn, by the way, and offers you his hand.
I'm not sure if you want to shake this with your pretty white gloves.
You make a very good point, actually. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Bryn. I'll take the number 2 and the number 3 combo. They're on his tab.
That's exactly what I was going to say, actually. So yes, not a
Great. We're on the same
not a
page.
lovely, lovely, lovely. And on that note, Bryn downs the rest of his drink. You have yourself a good time, and maybe our paths will cross again one day,
All right. Well, be careful out there.
and you as well. And they get up. He gets up and walks out, and you enjoy a delicious combo number 2 and combo number 3 on Bryn's tab.
Mhm.
Lovely,
Get
lovely,
the,
lovely. Amazing. Awesome, awesome,
yeah.
awesome. Thank you, M. John. All right. And now, John, moving on to you, good sir. Where do we find ourselves at this point of our story? Where do we find a familiar face?
So Thaldir is taking some time to recover from the last mission, so he
Ooh.
is out camping along a nice, quiet, serene lake.
Ooh.
He has a simple tent and a simple camping stove, and there are books spread around the campsite, and there are just easels with a series of paintings that are all kind of half underway, like 3 or 4 different ones. It seems that he has gone to one, paints for a little bit, goes back and reads, goes to another, paints for a little bit, goes back and read. And then whatever agent I assume is coming up to visit him just finds Thaldir just meditating quietly on the water, just sort of under his breath going, inner peace, inner peace, inner peace, inner peace. And if you want to jump in while he's having this relatively straightforward mantra, repeat to himself over and over and over.
Amazing, amazing, amazing. Um, while you are question about Thaldir and when he is in his meditative state. In this particular one, is he solely focused, or does he have his awareness open? Meaning, like would he is like does he is you know what I mean? Like is his awareness open to what is happening around him, or is he very much focused on, or somewhere in between?
He looks focused.
Okay,
So
looks
that's the
focused.
answer. Looks
Gotcha. Looks
focused.
focused. All right. All right. Excellent. Then let me see how well. Let me see how well our agent does. Okay. So while Thaldir is sitting there, inner peace. Um. Thaldir is aware that someone is walking up. But to Thaldir's surprise, to your surprise, they did get closer than the last deer that happened to cross by your area, your campsite. Um, quite close actually. But you do hear somewhat muffled footsteps of someone walking through the grass.
Okay. He continues to mutter, inner peace,
Hmm. Hmm.
outer idiot, inner peace, outer idiots, inner peace, outer idiot.
Amazing, amazing, amazing. Um, you hear a familiar voice who, from this person who finally decides to speak up. I'm particularly fond of this one. I like the way your brush stroked to show the water is calm, yet still very moving. I've tried to recreate this, but it's my clumsy big hands just can't seem to get that that subtlety.
Feldir slowly opens his eyes, stretches, and goes to his relatively tall height for a half elf and leans over. And he goes, "Let's be honest, I love painting, but I'm horrible at it. I appreciate the sentiment."
The person you see in front of you actually Andis, if you remember, the agent who came to you in our first episode, in episode 2, the first time we saw Faldir. Andis is a Loxodon. And at that time, Andis was wearing quite uh, uh, at that time Andis was wearing quite simple clothes, nothing too bright and extravagant. Today he's nothing off, nothing too different from that. Uh, simple pants, that sort of thing. But this time around, he does have a nice cloak, of a green color, which is over his left shoulder. Um, and turns to you and says, "You've how have you been these past few months? You've been out here. Everything all right?"
I've been recovering,
Mm.
trying to find center and balance and my place in the universe. Ultimately, my place leads me back to you.
Well, I mean, you know us at the Vale. We sometimes need the help of those with particular set of skills, which you do have. You did albeit the result of our last mission that we sent you on was probably not the most ideal result. You did uncover and the rest of the party did uncover the cause of or the culprit for the attempted assassination, and you did help stop it. Um, and we have um, another task.
What is the nature of this one?
This one is a bit of a mystery. Um, Another potential assassination. I don't know much of the details, but you did so well last time. The director thought it would be wise to bring you in on this one as well.
Are we preventing or causing the assassination?
Preventing.
Well, there's not much variety here, but I think if it's in the greater good, I will sign up for this.
Yes. Well, I mean, the um, again, I don't know much. The director obviously knows more, but you've been here for quite a while. Presume you haven't really heard of the news happening in the Alfas region among
No,
the
what has
farmers
been
in the
going on?
plains. Well, there have been, well, as usual, farmers have to deal with the normal wildlife in order to remains. And there was a bit of a commotion for a while there at the beginning of the summer with some livestock going missing. The local authorities took care of it, but then um, lives started going missing, um, and all seem to be tied in with around the same topic, around the same purpose. Um, the local authorities are blaming the wildlife, specifically something wolves or wild dogs. For that is the nature in which they find the victims, sadly. But the director thinks that there's more to it than just out of control wildlife, and your expertise is needed.
If it is for the greater good, then you shall have me.
Amazing. Excellent. Well then, the usual time and place. Although you do have a couple of days to make it back to Forge City and to the alleyway. Do you need help with anything?
No. And then Thaldir just sort of turns and, in a roundabout way, dismisses this guy and just goes about slowly dismantling his campsite and putting his books in a very meticulous and organized fashion into his rucksack.
Okay. All right then. Well, I'm off. I must head that way. My mission is well, I can't talk about it, but my mission is take me this way. So good luck. And the Laxodon starts walking off. Again, very quiet for a Loxodon, but barely any sound as he walks off through the grass. And moments later, as you are busy with things up, you look up to in the direction, and he is nowhere to be seen. Just absolutely gone, disappeared. Amazing. Awesome. Koi, who for those of you who are probably wondering why am I calling out for Koi? He's not here today. He's not GMing. Koi actually is here today. He's just helping me out with the stream. Heads up, Koi. We're going to be taking our bio break in the next 5-10 minutes. It's also a heads up for everybody in chat that we'll be taking our little break in the next 5-10 minutes. So before we do that, we find ourselves, we cut to just a few feet from the entrance of Graffiti Alley in the heart of, well, just off to the side of the heart of Forge City, since it is not directly downtown, where we find four individuals, slowly arriving. Who would like to have come first? Whose character is that kind of person who is like, I cannot be late. I must be at least, if I'm on time, I'm at least half an hour late. Who is that person amongst our group here? Excellent. All right, amazing. I love it. So half hour before our meeting time, Kieran, you arrive. It is a very nondescript area. It's you look around and you're like, is this really the place? It is. This is the place. Like like the instructions clearly say, right here behind in Graffiti Alley at this door, you're at the right place. There's a lamp just above the door, and nothing else. But shortly after you arrive, off in the distance, you see a silhouette coming towards you. Dom, describe what Kieran sees as you are approaching.
So if there's a fire escape in the distance, he would see the silhouette descend from there. And
Love it. Interesting.
and then I would roll, and then I'd end up a little out of sight, and you'd hear a collision of sorts, and then you hear this voice like, "Oh, damn it, again!" And then he gets up, and then he kind of makes his way towards the meeting point.
And who does he see? Like please let us know how
So he sees bright red hair swooped over, kind of half of it's covering some of his face. You see he's got these sort of like spiked bangles on his arms, and he has like a gi, like the karate or martial art uniform. He's got one of those over, and it's like a nice like darkish color. And he makes his way over. You can see probably the bow and the slung over, as well as the the quiver as well. So you see those two kind of crossed behind. And he just kind of like readjusts himself and just kind of like gives himself a little stretch and limbers up, and then he makes his way over. Because I'm guessing you're a half elf, yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So you would recognize Also a half elf, kind of on the younger side. Not like adult, but not like hasn't been an adult for very long. And he gets up and then makes his way towards like the meeting points, which you see.
Amazing, amazing. And Kevin, please let Dom know what does Velios see as he's approaching, or does
So
he see
just
you?
I-
Crash bang! What? Hide!
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm like standing like just kind of off on like the against the wall, just kind of like leaning nonchalantly, trying to not be directly in the light, but also just not seeming like he's trying. He just seems like he's hanging out. There's just some 5'9" half elf with like light brown hair, it's tied back. He's got a short bow and a short sword on him. Leather armor. He's got a cloak. He's got the hood up. It kind of partially obscures, but like he like when he hears you notice that like he watches you drop down onto onto the fire escape, drop and roll and go across. And he just kind of looks, and then like as you're like coming out and adjusting, he looks and he's like, and he just a quieter landing will help out whatever it is you're trying to do there.
Yeah. It's
He is
50-50.
he's definitely a mature half elf. He's like 90ish. He's an adult. He's been around for a while. But he's very nondescript in pretty much all ways. He's just your average half elf that you would probably not look at in a crowd, and nothing about him sticks out.
Amazing, amazing, great.
Are-
I'm assuming you decide to
are you
stand in
here-
silence.
No, I full up and I'm like, you were recruited here?
Yeah, some guy, very tall, kind of lanky, very pale. Yeah. Kind of
Did you catch
an?
did you catch a name?
No, I didn't. He was very like mysterious. My line of work, I ask questions, but only what I need to. In this
What
case,
line of
I
work
just,
is that?
I run a private investigation company, self-owned and operated. So you might have heard of me, and he pulls out like a card, but it's kind of weathered. It's like Velios Investigations is what it says. I tend to help kind of like middle class and lower. I'm kind of try to stay under the radar as much as possible.
Would I have heard of him?
Roll for me. Oh gosh, where's my? I always have a cheat sheet because I can never remember what I want people to roll. You know what? Roll for me a intelligence. Yeah, intelligence works with memory. This will be. Actually, you know what? And I just because I think it's fun, right? Dom. What would the difficulty? How difficult would this be? Like, what are we thinking here?
I would say if his line of work is kind of on the sort of clandestine side or a bit more underground than not, then he would definitely know about it.
Okay.
I would think so. It'd be lower DC. But if he's kind of works for like high end companies and doesn't know too much about the underground, then it would be a higher DC. So that's kind of what I would say.
Amazing. So Kieran, what are we saying? We thinking maybe like a 12, 13?
Well, if he's operating in the city for private investigating and stuff, yeah.
All right, yeah. Cool. Yeah,
All
so
right,
let's
see.
So go ahead and roll me and see if it happened to come across.
Oh no.
I don't have Foundry open. Wait 1 second. I don't have Owen on my screen.
Oh goodness.
Why is my mouse not working? Why does this always
No,
happen?
it was a nat one.
Crit
It
fail.
was a nat one. Oh yeah, I was a nat one.
Yeah.
No, I. Sorry, kid. Haven't heard of you.
Then I guess I'm doing my job right then.
I guess so, right?
If you're looking to help people, wouldn't you want people to know about you?
Well, there's I also reach out to people who I see are in trouble. People don't just come to me. I sometimes go to them. I'm still new at the business. It's still starting out.
Ah, well, best of luck to you. Work on those landings. You're gonna
Yeah,
want to stay quiet.
like I said, 50-50 most of the time. I'm good, but lately, I don't know if I'm just tired. I haven't been sticking the landings.
Absorb through the
Amazing.
knees, tuck the shoulder a little. It'll
I'll
help.
do that next time.
Um, 1 second here. There we go. I should have sent that. Should have sent that message earlier. Um, so a few moments go by, and the two of you are suddenly aware of another presence coming down the alleyway. They seem to be a little confused, not 100% sure where. Um, but M. John, go ahead and tell us what do our friends Kieran and Velios see?
Well, I had a thought actually
Mhm.
that was, you asked about if you're 30 minutes late, if you're not early or late. Mkidu is not so much worried about time, but also didn't really need to stay where he was. So I would imagine, in my mind, I'm actually asleep in the corner behind a pile of garbage. Like I ate my food. I came here. I'm having a nap. I'm just like, I'll be here when they get here, whenever that is. I don't know. So I hear the ruckus. I'm like, that's some ruckus. And I look out, and there's this, to me, big old elf standing right there. And I'm like, I'll just stay here for a minute, see what this is about. And then maybe when I hear their exchange, maybe it makes me, oh, thank you. What is this now? Maybe makes me laugh a little bit.
So you hear
Oh, that's good.
you both hear the chuckle of our friend Mkido.
And I'm just hanging out there. I got a couple rats. They're just, they're noisy. They like me. Oh, whatever. They don't get a lot of people in the city who talk to them. Most of them ignore them. So, anyway, so I'm asleep in the pile of garbage, and then I hear what sounds like a humorous exchange to me, and in my amusement, I reveal myself in my amusement, and I'll kick myself out of my little pile of garbage.
And please let us know what do Kieran and Velios see crawling out of the garbage?
A dirty little pile, about 4 feet tall. I've got a sort of worn, dirty cloak mixed of different patterns and different fabrics and wool and leather and whatever. It's piecemeal. Does the job. And I've got a staff that I carry with a sling on top of it that can be used in either of those ways. Backpack with some resources and ideas in them. Some food around the waist. Always food. You always got to have food. If you don't have food, something's wrong with you. I'm sardonic, I would say, a little bit. Like I find people curious and interesting, even though I don't have necessarily a lot of great affection for cities and organizations. So I'll probably get up and take a rat off, put it down on the ground, and you're like, you guys get one of these too?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'll hold up the paper with the address. Yeah.
You guys know what this is about?
Work.
Yeah. The job, but as far as the details, they didn't tell tell me much.
Very enigmatic, hush hush secret, but for the good of the coalition, for the good of the people. So, noble.
Yeah, that's good. I'm glad that's noble. And I don't seem to need this anymore, so I'll just crumple it up and add it to the pile.
Amazing. And you are all suddenly aware of someone else walking down the alley. Thaldir, please let everyone know as you are walking down.
So Thaldir is basically a really large, like, I don't know, about 6 foot tall, 6'1", half elf dressed in monk attire, and he basically has a very long staff, almost excessively long. And it appears that instead of carrying his rucksack on his back, he's carrying it at the end of a staff, sort of like a counterweight. And he's just kind of thrumming his fingers along the staff, and he's just walking, sort of taking in everything that he sees in the alley. Like, he has been down obviously several alleys before and been into the cities, but it's just he's taking in the circumstance and just calmly, quietly making note of things. He sees all you guys kind of standing around there, and he just kind of drops his, like, lifts his staff up so his rucksack sort of falls onto the ground, and he sits on it with his back up against the wall, feet on the staff, and just looks at you and says, "Evening."
Hi.
Hello.
You look like you've been here before.
No. I mean, it's
Oh.
an alley. I think we've all been in alleys, hopefully for more interesting times than this.
Well, what generally happens in alleys?
Most of life, I find.
Ugh.
Sometimes the beginning, sometimes the end, and sometimes the fun stuff in the middle. Depends on how much
Fun.
money you have.
Rich people have fun in alleys?
You have
if-
no idea.
If you're doing it right.
The things I've seen.
Cities are weird.
On that note, John, you suddenly because you are able to understand, or at least your attention to the rat population is or the animal population, that I should say, is one that you care much about. You suddenly notice that they scurry away. They're like, and they just run. If you happen to still have your animal communication sense open, you hear one of them go, 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 and they just,
That's not a good sign.
immediately
Just
after
be-
that,
Just be a cat.
everyone hears a clicking noise and a hissing noise and a clicking noise coming from the floor just in front of the door. And then after a few moments of click, click, all of a sudden you hear kunk, kunk, and you hear gears shifting and moving, and the floor in front of the door starts to recess in a circular pattern. And after click after click after click, you just suddenly see that as the floor drops, it's suddenly stopping, and you have a set of stairs that is slowly presenting itself in front of you in the alleyway, which before that did not seem to be there, did not show a sign of it before.
Is this a regular thing in alleys?
I have
Not
not
in
seen
my
that.
experience.
Just checking.
I just sort of look around and chuckle. I'm like, you guys are clearly new. And I sort of get off my rucksack, pick it up, hold the staff, and just start to head down towards the opening.
And I will immediately follow behind the big guy, who's an excellent meat shield.
I'll look at the last person remaining. You
Do you want-
you going down there?
I'll head down.
I'll go down too.
Amazing. You guys go down the staircase after about what seems to be going down a floor, right? The Dom directly behind Velios, as soon as you're off the one step which one of these steps, suddenly the step behind you starts to rise back up again, right? And actually, like you actually hear the stairs slowly rise back up to essentially close the door back up again at the ground level. Upon further down the stairs, about another half a flight, you arrive at a small antechamber, and in the antechamber is a familiar to most at this point, is the very tall but thin, gaunt looking, very pale humanoid with the very heavy looking fur lined overcoat, who is like, yes, thank you, excellent, you're all here, excellent, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Just this way, right through here, and please follow me. He goes over to what seems to be like a keypad of sorts, like with keys, and pulls out some things, and click 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 click, and opens the door. And the door that was right there next to him, like, that you clearly saw when you came down, opens up, and on the other side of the door, and Keto, you are inundated with sound. Like if you had a lot of sound before when you were in the city, like that was a lot, but this is similar. Like a lot of sound coming through. You are like not happy, just like you were the day when you were in the city and inundated with all this noise. But everyone, particularly for and Keto, only because we know how much you are not a fan of this loudness. The pale gentleman walks in and bids you to follow, and he walks onto a walkway. And when you all walk through the door, you enter into this very large room, and you find yourself on a walkway about 2 flights above this commotion that is happening down below. Down below, there's quite a number of people, a lot of desks, people of different various species and races mulling about and conversation, and the tickety-tackety of typewriters and whatnot. There are a couple of entities who are able to fly, who are just kind of like flying from one side to the other. One of which you can sort of hear off in the distance being like, okay, one with 2 sugars, one with and as they flitter on past, you walk down the length of this room, and looking around, you see that there's that the walls are nice, clean cement, but they've been reinforced with metal slits that have just been like positioned and then seem to be bolted into these cement walls. And on the as you slowly follow your eye gaze down, the walls starts to be filled with more and more papers and things that seem to be posted up on the walls. And the closer you get to ground level, the more cluttered the walls tend to be near the desk. The pale gentleman walks across and ends up at another door at the end of this walkway, opens it, and bids you to follow him. And you enter into a round room, very quiet compared to the room you were just in. Again, the walls are very, very clean and gray and very slick. And in the middle of this room is a large round table with various chairs and stools around it. And in the center of this, at the center of this table, is a logo, an imprint of a design, which is the if you were all able to look at the stream at the beginning, we're looking at this. It looks like 2 triangles that are facing opposite directions, slightly off center, and one slightly smaller than the other. The largest of them is gold. Yes, for all of those who are following chat, or sorry, follow this side, this side,
Yeah.
this side up here. We're looking at a gold, made of gold, not perfectly shiny gold, but it's a used gold. It is the largest of the 2 triangles. The bottom is, of course, separated because the tip of the other triangle, which is facing down, which is slightly off center, we have that one is of 3 different metals, or 2 different metals actually, and stone. The part of the tip is made of a iron type material, quite used, quite worn. The top right, had to do the whole which one's left, which one's right. The top right of the triangle that comes up, that top tip is of a copper color, which seems to be just on the verge of turning verdigris. And then the other point of the triangle, which is just poking out of from behind the larger gold triangle, is made of stone. And this logo is at the center of this table, and the pale gentleman, please make yourself comfortable. The director will be with you very shortly. Can I grab anything for you to drink? Water or coffee, perhaps? I recently decided to try coffee. Very delicious. But I think I must probably should cut back a little bit. It just can't. It's so good. It's so good to the tongue. But anything to drink?
I'll take a water.
Water? Anyone? And
I'll-
for you?
I'll take a coffee. I don't mind.
Coffee? Okay, yes, of course.
Do you have anything to eat?
Yes. I could. Anything in particular you would like for me to bring for you?
What you got?
I could various fruits, vegetables, meats.
Yeah, that sounds good. I'll take various
will-
fruits,
I-
vegetables, and meats, and
Yeah, I will bring a platter for everyone. I think I get. And for I recall last time you didn't want anything, but is it still the same this time? Anything? Looking at you, Thaldir.
No, just water is fine for me. Thank you.
Water makes it. I shall return momentarily. And
Actually,
She's
can I
going
get
in
a-
like
I'll take a tea
oh yes, tea. Yes, of course.
or water.
she's
tastes
trying
fine.
to go. I'm gonna say thank you.
You're very welcome. And he turns to continue. And he exits out a door. If you would have entering into this room, round room, but you notice that there are 4 doors. There's the door that you entered in, which if we were looking at this like with a cardinal plane, you entered through the southern door. There's another door directly in front on the north, and then there are 2 doors equidistant on either side to the east and the west. Our pale friend here exited through the western door, and has now left you all alone in the room. And at this time here, we will take our break. It's a little later than the 5:10 that I anticipated. I apologize for that. I should be better on my timing for that, but I will be. I promise. So let's take a small break, a small 10-minute break. I know that there's a delay with the stream, so I apologize, chat, if you're suddenly like, that's not the correct time, but I have 8:58 according to my clock here. So let's return at 9:08. Does that sound like a plan? Yeah, we can replenish. We can replenish our breuvages, use the bathroom, whatever we need.
Some
Excellent.
tea, fruit, meats, cheeses.
Amazing. Exactly. Yeah. Anything that. Yeah. All right. So we'll see you back.
You think you know the game. Think you can play. You don't know a thing. Been down here for so long. My pain and rage are carved in every stone. You try to bring me down, but I keep rising. You aren't ready for this fight. I know I will burn your dreams to ashes. I'm not afraid to climb again. Arise every time. You try to bring me down, but I keep rising.
everyone, and we are back. I hope the break was fantastic. So we find ourselves in a round room. Dated my of my generation are probably going like, oh, it's a dark room. Anyways, okay, good. At least half the people on screen right now reacted to that. So some people know what I'm talking about. Anyways, we find our heroes in this round room with this round table, this interesting part metal, well, three different metals and stone, two intertwined triangles, logo, which everyone was seeing as our logo here. As many a chat would know by now, that this Ascended Veil.
Has Kieran ever seen, or does he know anything about this symbol?
You know nothing of this symbol. You know nothing of this symbol. I will flat out say right now, you can do an intelligence test, but the Ascended Veil has done a very good job. Difficult. So go ahead and roll your d20 and try to roll.
Oh gods, no. If I'll take it. It's like if he doesn't, if Kieran knows nothing about it, this is interesting.
Yeah, no, the veil has done a very good job keeping itself in the shadows for quite some time. And so yeah, only those who the veil wants to know about would know about this place. There are probably some out there. I don't want to flat out say definitives because in a world in a world as vast as, right, it is possible that there are some people who do know, right? But perhaps some gods there too. Yeah. But no, the veil is doing everything they can to ensure that no one knows. So none of you would know what this symbol is. You just see two triangles on the table, and you're like, whatever. Round room, round table, chairs, doors. Like I said, at the four quadrants of north, east, south, west. And you don't wait too long. Moments later, the door to the north, so the opposite door of which you all entered from, opens up, and in enters a Warforged. It is a tall, about 6'5", metallic of worn metals. They don't look shiny, but they also don't look dirty. They don't look like it doesn't look like it has been dinged up or anything like that. It still looks rather clean. Something new for you, Thaldir. You notice that it's actually wearing a little vest, which last time you were here it was not. It's wearing this little like this little simple little black vest, the three buttons on the front all buttoned up. It enters in. And for everyone else who first time seeing this Warforged, it looks like it is basically all of its bones are exposed. It doesn't really look like it has, like, unlike a human, you can't see our bones, but like you can actually see like the lines of where the different bones-esque would be. Like it doesn't have any flat surfaces except for some the odd place here and there. Where it does have a flat surface is on its face, its head, where its head is an oval, and it is completely covered, so it's just one piece. But there are 6 circles. The 2 circles in the middle are lit up. The other 4 are not. And it kind of looks like the number 6 on a die, with the doot 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 all the way down. It is the one that opened the door. And like I said, it is wearing this vest thingy with the 3 buttons buttoned up. And almost immediately after, on its heels, enters a halfling, nicely dressed, simple clothing, nothing too extravagant, black pants, a gray shirt, file in hand, walks in. Thank you for all coming. Thank you for coming. If you wouldn't mind sitting down, Thaldir, nice to see you again. Thank you for joining us again. Very kind of you to have accepted. My name is Fitz. This is Lloyd, and thank you all for agreeing to be here. Before we begin, any questions?
Any more snacks?
Yes, the Crix will be arriving shortly with the food. He's still collecting the platter. He says it wants it to have a variety. I told him just plain fruit is fine, but he is going a little over. Um, I think
I'm
he may
sorry.
have
I'm
drink.
sorry.
I think he may have drink. Yes.
Lloyd?
Yes, this is Lloyd.
And Lloyd is.
Is my compatriot. Lloyd ensures my safety. And
Lloyd?
Your big butler back there.
yes, exactly. I don't understand. I don't understand why someone told him that he should wear clothes, and he has chosen to wear um a vest. Lloyd, I don't understand it. I don't understand it, but he has
Told
decided to wear.
told him. I'm sorry. I've seen a lot
Hmm.
in my line of work.
Yes, I know. I've read your file. It's very impressive.
Yes. Lloyd.
Yes. Yes, Lloyd is very special. I agree.
Yeah.
But do not worry.
Lloyd. I'm so
Yes,
sorry. Lloyd. What are you?
Lloyd doesn't move, but suddenly I am the director's compatriot. I am here to ensure the director is safe. That is essentially what his job is. Yes. You don't need to pay him. Pay him no mind.
So
Or no need to pay
you're the
him.
director.
Yes, I am the director of the Ascended Veil. Thank you. Yes,
It's nice to meet somebody of an appropriate height.
I would think so too. Actually, most people. I mean, if you spent more time in Forge City, in Keto, you would encounter many people of many different heights. Especially here at the Vale, uh, we have those that are as small as a Fey and as large as a Loxodon. Actually, some we've even seen larger, but yeah.
Must bump your head on things all the time.
Well, I mean, that is one of the reasons why we have such high ceilings in many of our rooms, hallways. So, yes.
Sorry.
Um,
My outburst.
Hmm.
I was caught off. I was. It's an odd thing for me to be caught off guard. My apologies,
no,
Mr. Fitz. And
no,
apologies, Mr.
it's
Lloyd.
uh, Kieran, is it not? Yes. I apologize. I have. He is with me at all times. I've sort of forgotten that he is a slight anomaly to those of the outside world. Um, and so I apologize. Everyone here pays him no attention at this point. And so
I gesture at um, I gesture at the big guy, and I go, yes, clearly.
Baldir.
I have not heard his name yet, so.
Oh,
Oh wait, no.
this is
Lloyd
true.
did say it, or
Yes.
Fitz did say it. Yeah,
Yes.
I gesture at Baldir, and I'm like, well, clearly, yes. My apologies.
Oh, no apologies necessary. It is on me for not saying so earlier. Um, on that note, um, I have asked you all to come here today because I believe that um, there's some nefarious going on in the prairie region of our great coalition. The As some of you may or may not know, since at the moment all the news that is the rage these days is the conflict down over by the east with the the Juan Fidia. In the on the south side of the coalition, we have an area, as you all know, that is called Alfa. Alfas is a prairie area, lots of farmland, lots of small villages who have been members of the coalition for actually about a century now. And recently, there has been a bit of a stir. Something that is not uncommon, of course, is that livestock sometimes go missing for various reasons. Stolen, or in this case, they are found dead eventually. Wildlife in the area get hungry at certain times of the year, but this mostly happens during the winter months when food tends to be a little scarce in the prairie lands. It being, of course, summer, it is not unheard of, but not common. Um, Now, why this is unheard of for this particular occurrence is that at first it started off rather small. A sheep here, a chicken there, a goat, even a cow. Um, and when found, if found later on, the carcasses appeared to be mauled by a, well, pack of animals. But the occurrences started to happen more frequently. The local constabulary of the area um, uh, made their own um, dealt with it in their own way, set up traps and whatnot, and um, uh, oddly enough, nothing was ever caught in the traps, and the livestock killings continued, which eventually led to a full-on planned hunt for any local wildlife that may be of the carnivorous um, inclination, if you will. This, of course, is a little odd since it is the timing of it, and also, of course, um, how much it has happened, and also, of course, the not being able to trap any wild any of these wild animals. But the hunts have did begin, um, and after a few days of hunting and of killing, sadly, the the livestock the missing and killing of livestock seem to have died down. A week later, a similar thing happens not a few kilometers away, in another area um, neighboring the Alfas area. And the process essentially repeated itself. But what happened shortly after is that we had our first missing person, who was eventually found dead. Again, nothing unheard of. If sadly, if a small child or if a farmer or hunter decides to go out hunting alone, or go play alone, if they are not careful, if the animal is in dire need of sustenance, the animal will find food wherever it wishes to find food. What is interesting is that this person um, is a full-grown adult and went missing on their way home in the middle of the day. They worked just outside of the small town in which they lived, and never made it home. Um, this, of course, called on the Solar Knights to investigate. So the coalition sent a delegation, and investigations were made. And again, the culprits were found to be wild animals, and so the hunt, which began almost a month earlier in the Alfas area, continued in this area. And what is strange is that, again, after a few days of hunting, a few days of catching various animals, um, the the missing livestock and, in this case, person, ceased, and it picked up again a few days later, not a couple days ago. Why this is interesting is that it the what I find interesting with all of this is that they have yet to actually have found evidence that animals have been, other than finding carcasses and finding that there are um, uh, carnivorous animals in these areas, they they have not actually found any carnivorous animals near these near the areas where the carcasses have been found, other than perhaps like one animal that was killed and checked, and this is where it caught my eye. The amount of meat that was found in its stomach in the report um, is not enough for an animal to have along with a pack um, fed on the animal in which it was found next to. In fact, it's the reports, in my estimation, fall more on the side of scrounging for scraps. And so I have a bad feeling that this pardon the pun, wild goose chase that we have been that our the Solar Knights have now been entangled in, um, seems to be leading them astray. And where I believe we are being misled is actually to the east, in the mountains next to Alfas. In those mountains, we have the town of the we have a town we have the town of Genton, which houses um, uh, one of our higher ups in the government, and they have recently returned home to their hometown of Ganton, and are staying for the summer with family and tend to plan on returning home here in Forge City and continue their work um, at the end of of the summer. And I presume that their life may be in danger. That is, of course, my estimation. Looking at the topography and geography and the area in which all of this is happening, that is the easiest and closest conclusion that I may find, is that we are being led away, um, so that when tragedy strikes, it will be in Ganton. I'm not 100% sure as to why this is happening, which is why I have asked all of you to come and help out with this particular um, mission. Um, you, Mkido, have been asked to come because of your expertise with animals. And also at this time, I am very sad to hear about what is happening to um, the uh, the area outside of your hometown. And I assure you that I will look into um, seeing that the construction that is planned for that area be moved, so that your land can be kept safe and astray. And I'm quite honestly, I don't know why they're building another train track in that direction. We have plenty of, but this government loves to build and they love to expand, and I will see what I can do to change their course of mind. Um, uh, Kieran, you have been called on to this. You've been, sorry, requested to do this particular mission for us. because as I mentioned earlier, I have taken a look at your file, and your file is very impressive. You tend to do your work quite nicely and quite well. Um, I heard say one time, uh, um, someone described themselves as they are very good at what they do, but what they do is not very nice. And in this case, I would say this describes you quite to the T. Your missions have always been rather successful, and so I think that your expertise in being able to track down perhaps who the culprits are, um, and also to allow safety for our our um, our politician, if you will. We may not like all of them, but they do help make the world go round. And in my estimation, actually, this particular gentleman is actually quite good, and we do want him to remain in office. Um, for you, Avelios, pretty much the same. You have a good set of skills at being able to investigate and being able to uncover the clues to solve the problems. Also, I also understand that you wish to continue to help and to help the people in need. And I figured this would be something that would be right up your alley. You have been trained in the ways of the Solar Knights, and so you do know a little bit of their coming and goings, and so you will be able to ensure that you and the rest of this party can remain under the radar and not attract too much of their attention, as I wish for this mission to be kept um, from their attention. For if I am correct, I would like only for those who are responsible to know that their plan failed, but not know why. For you, Velios, I understand that you are still trying to solve a mystery of which you have been a tragedy that happened to you many moons ago. Um, I do have some information on that, and I can assure you that I will continue to look into it. Before you leave, please make sure you come to me and in private, and I will be able to give you the information that you may want to hear at this time. But this is between you and I, and so you may share if you wish. But yes.
Yes.
Lastly, Valdir, I've asked you to return because, again, much like those who are part of this party, you do have a set of skills that are very particular, and you are very good at what you do. Um, you proved in your last mission to have quite uh, the word escapes me. It's strange. Tactical mind, um, and you were able to successfully complete the mission. And so that is the reason why I reached out to you again to hopefully you would be willing to help us again in our moment of need.
I do find it utterly fascinating to find something that has eluded so many people. It does very much pique my interest.
Yes, it is. It is rather interesting for me as well. Yes, as a lover of puzzles, this one definitely has me wanting to know more. Um, yes. So, if you have, if there may be any other questions, please, now is the time to ask. While all of this is happening, I was on a roll. I am sorry, chat. I was on a roll. Crix has returned. Crix has returned and quietly has placed a plate of food on the table. It is filled with fruits, vegetables, meats, cheeses. Some things that some of you may not exactly know what they are, but they look interesting, and so you try them. Perhaps if to your own avail, if you wish. Um, water, tea, coffee for everyone who is there, and quietly exits the room, not wanting to disturb the director while he was explaining what was happening. Any questions?
What animal do they think? What animal are they saying they think has been doing this? I mean,
Well,
correct me if I'm wrong,
mm,
but predators aren't known for leaving their hunting grounds.
yes, you are correct. That is part of why the mystery piqued my interest. I mean, at first it was just they assumed foxes, wolves, perhaps an owl bear. Although their presence tends to be a little bit more known if they tend to want. Yes, um, and so the hunting parties of the first encounters um, hunted the wolves that any wolf or any wild dog, anything that looked as such in their area. Um, uh, Luckily, I've been told by some of the experts that have been looking into this that they have not killed all of them, and so you know if so, but enough that after a couple of days they seemed satisfied uh, that the killings have that they have done enough to end the killings of their livestock and protection of their lands.
Can
Um,
we? Is there any way to see these attacks? I'm sorry, M. John. What is your character's name again? I'm so sorry.
It's all right. That's why I changed my name on the here in the thing.
Ah,
It's Mkidu, which you've only heard once anyway, so you could feel free to ask.
because because Mkidu, would you be able to identify potentially?
I mean, likely. Here's my first thought: is it's weird. From the description of the remains you're finding, that sounds very odd. Most predators don't leave a lot lying around. Nature does not care for waste. So the idea that somebody, a predator, an animal of some kind, would kill something and then not consume it is strange. The idea that it was wolves, I mean, the idea of just like something's killing things, so we got to start killing things is short-sighted. You're not sure what's doing the killing. Don't start just killing all over the place. That's like, going in and setting a house on fire because you think you might have termites. It's dumb. But yeah, if we go and we can take a look at any of the wounds, that would be helpful. Also, if you haven't killed all the wolves, I could also talk to them, ask them if they know anything about this.
of course.
And you're
Well,
saying that these attacks started in one area, and then once. Sorry, I'm assuming intelligent life here. Well, not animal life. Animals are intelligent too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Once it got rumbled, it moved, and each time it moved, it's moving further away from the politician.
correct.
But you think that's a trick, which means you already think it's something smart.
Yes, after the second occurrence, especially when a life was taken, the first one piqued my interest as something curious. The second time, especially after the life of a human was taken, that is when when the Solar Knights were brought in. That is when I even more intrigued, and then and that's when I started to notice the patterns and studying the patterns, is what drew me to the conclusion very quickly that clearly, especially after the third occurrence began, not about a week after the end of the second occurrence, where the solar knights deemed it to be again animals, and that the eradication of the carnivorous animals, the dangerous animals in the area, would do nothing. Would be enough to protect those in of that small town. That is when I think I was more firm and could make some conclusions in with my theory as to I think what is happening is drawing us away from Ganton.
Question: have there been any survivors? Has anybody been attacked and survived?
No. At the moment, there has only been one human life, one mortal life that is not livestock that has been taken. Up to this point, it has only been livestock, other than the first human, and then a week later, again the same modus operandi, if you will, where the livestock have started disappearing, and almost immediately when this happened, the people of this further town and the farmlands around it started to go up in arms and started preemptively to defend their farmland and their territory and their animals more vigorously.
What has been the timing between the hunt for the predators and the next set of attacks in the next place?
The first two occurrences, when the hunt for the predators was deemed the necessary course of action, about 2 to 3, 4 days, when the hunters decided that enough was enough and that they felt like their livestock and their property was now safe. And then roughly about a week later is when the next occurrence happened. Just a mere like a mere township over. One township over, and the next occurrence with livestock slowly starting to disappear, and then of course the one human life.
So, where do you want us to go?
Well, I would like you to go to Ganton to ensure the safety and oh, I apologize. I forgot to give you the name of the politician who is spending their time. The politician is Garibald. He is at half work, and he spends a lot of his time when he can in his hometown of Ganton within the mountains. I can give you more about his daily schedule if you'd like, but I don't think that's really important at this time.
A dossier of who he is, what he's responsible for,
Yes, of course.
the basics that we need to know.
Yes, of course. That will all be found here in this file. Slides over one of the pieces of paper that he was holding onto when he came in. Slides over this envelope.
I'll start reading it, and when I'm done, I'll hand it to Velios.
Ultimately, Ganton is where I would like for you to go, and to ensure that the elected official is held and remains safe. But of course, if you feel that you need to investigate some of the recent corpses that have been found, although I mean, obviously the first and second occurrences of the livestock going missing and of the mortal life, the human, that was also found deceased. Those happened quite some time, so the livestock have been dealt with. They have been the farmers have taken care of that. The human has been laid to rest, and so. But you can have access to the file of the investigation of their death, to see if there's any information that you Mkidu, if you Mdon, if you were actually this motion. Yes, you can, if you so wish, to exhume the.
I mean, if there's bite marks on the bones, they'll still be there.
This is very true. Um, as for this newest occurrence, which only started not too long ago, only a few days ago, really. The township, and the town and the farmers are already quite up in arms already, and have already begun to prepare for the hunt. And so again, this is why I think that whatever is preying on these livestock, and mortals, is just waiting for exactly what is happening here now, panic and chaos, in order to hide their true intentions, which would be in Genton. But
Well, if
again, of
they
course, if you wish to head to the region of Alphas, you can check out the different uh, the townships, and maybe talk to some of the farmers or other livestock, as Vikavar so aptly pointed out. Thank you, Vic. That is
well, if
up to you.
if their timing and their modus operandi hold, if the farmers are up in arms and starting their hunt, they're already moving on to their next township, their next distraction, or their next target. So whoever we're looking for, they're not going to be there.
That is my assumption.
Thaldir,
Mm.
tactician, apparently. Thoughts?
I find it mildly odd that we did not think to consult talking to the wolves first. I think once we know what something is, we can determine where it is going. For if it is something larger than the wolves, it will seek larger prey. If it is something more crafty than the wolves, it will seek more of a challenge.
Or if it is simply a distraction.
But even then, a distraction, this is on the surface it seems random, but something to cause distraction would leave evidence. It would not trip all the traps. It would not evade all the traps. It would do traps in various locations, trip them here, trip them there, leave some untripped, cause more confusion than simple evasion.
Hmm.
Or
Oftentimes,
maybe
Mhm.
or maybe the wolves saw something that we haven't yet.
Mhm.
hence the desire to talk to them or communicate,
the
or what would it be called? I guess.
the
I
humanoid
call it talking.
who's
Do-
killed.
Dominic, a little louder, buddy. I think that's why we couldn't hear you, buddy.
Sorry, the humanoid that was killed.
Hmm.
Do we know, is this person of import? Is it a political figure? Is it someone like that, or is it just a farmer of the village or the town?
The human that was killed was someone who was returning from. They are a factory worker, one of the local factories near the town. This particular town works with this particular factory works with wheat, and so this particular worker is from what I remember from his file. He is a simple machine worker. He was just returning home after work and never made it home, and his body was then later on found the next day, um, uh, in just outside of town.
Are all of the bodies found within the town themselves, or are they found outside the town?
A lot of the livestock bodies tend to be found either within their pen,
Okay.
or just outside of their pen. There have been a few incidences where some of the larger or faster livestock, in my estimation, were found further away, inside the forest. Um, one of the reports was that about a half a dozen sheep were found strewn about and splayed open to this guy, about a kilometer away from their pen. that is the furthest and most interesting of reports.
That one seems a little more ritualistic than just interesting.
I mean, from my understanding of rituals, I don't see how there could have been, but of course there are numerous practices in this land, and so I don't know. Perhaps.
Maybe some eyes on the ground is what we need now.
Well, that is exactly it. If there is nothing else pressing at this moment, there's the file in which I handed off to you, Kieran. There's also this file here, which gives a little more information about the area in which you will be going to, Ganton Fas, and its various farmlands and territories. If you wouldn't mind, Lloyd, could you go grab Crix, please? Affirmative. And Lloyd, who has been standing completely still, like this entire time, as if he's like just like stone, walks towards the door, the last door which Crix exited from, which was the western door, which he exited, came back, dropped off the food, and exited, and exits out that door. Fritz continues. Lloyd will return with Crix for you. Crix will be able to bring you to our armory, and which if you are requiring of any materials or any tools of your trade, you may go ahead and take and grab what you need, what you require. He will also be handing you important veil devices, which will allow you to communicate amongst yourselves. That way, if need be, if you need to separate, you will always be able to stay in contact with one another if need so. The device also has quite an interesting little secondary feature, which I myself find rather amusing. But Crix will explain all of that to you once he hands those off to you. You will be going to the area of well, actually, the tickets I have here were originally for Ganton, but now it appears that perhaps you wish to go to another area. Is there anywhere in particular that you would like to start this investigation?
I'm gonna head to Ganton.
Yeah, we can head to
Myself.
Ganton if that's where we're worried about dangers occurring. Like, we can go and start there.
Check in
Yeah.
with Garibald.
Yes, Garabond.
Garibald, got it.
Yes.
Yeah, what's his
Yes.
name?
Well, yes. Well, I mean, I only ask if you would wish to go to perhaps one of the other areas within Alphas, because you did mention that you wish to perhaps speak with the livestock or the other animals of the area.
If
Again,
that's where you're worried something's going to happen, I mean, let's go there first and
this is true. This is true.
talk to the wolves there.
Yes, Ganton is just happens to be found within the mountain, which neighbor Alphas, and so the only. So
Right.
Ganton is
Well,
one.
Velios and I can go to Ganton if you want to go to the latest place where the attacks happened and talk to the
I would
wildlife
go-
and see if they've seen or
I mean,
know
if I were going to go
of
somewhere,
anything.
I'd be most interested in going to the place where the human was killed.
Mm.
How far is that from Ganton?
That is a 3 days ride by horse. But
Okay.
if you would like, we can get you there closer using airship transportation,
Yeah, or I could fly.
or you can fly. Yes, I did forget about that. I do remember reading that in your file. Yes, I mean, so if
I can just I can just wild shape myself into something that can get there a lot faster.
I mean, by the bird's wing, you would probably get there within a day and a half, 2 tops, perhaps.
Hmm. Not sure I want to go alone, but
I would be
but I can.
inclined to visit the wolves. I think we'll learn much more on the ground
Mhm.
to at least
Oh, we
draw
could
a
travel
better
together at whatever. We could travel together at whatever pace suits you. Then, if airship gets us there faster, sure, we could take an airship. That'll be fun. I've never been in an airship.
I think ship would probably be the best way to go.
Excellent. Well,
Conserve strength and
yes.
resources for what is coming.
Yes, of course.
Mm.
Well, I mean, airship is the fastest way to Ganton. It being in the mountains, it is much easier for the airships to get into that area than it is for the train or any other mode. Dealing with Rockies and whatnot. Great. Then I will change these 2 tickets. Actually, um, I will hand these off to you.
Velios,
will-
you and I will take off to and check in on Garibald. Make sure that they're at least safe.
Yep.
The other two talk to the wildlife. We'll meet you at Garibald and see what needs to be done. Sound good?
Sorry, what was your name?
I'm Kieran.
Kieran. And what'd you call this guy?
Velios.
Elios. Sorry, and what was it? Thaldir?
Yes.
Fits.
Kidu. Nice to
And
meet you,
at
everybody.
that moment, the
Kidu.
door opens. Lloyd enters, and this is Lloyd. And Lloyd
Yeah.
walks. Lloyd walks over and then stands directly behind where he was, where she was standing moments before.
Lloyd has
Yeah,
made
Lloyd-
an impression already. We know Lloyd.
Yeah, Lloyd, we got.
Or I, yeah.
Crix comes in shortly after. Yes, good. Yes, Crix. Please bring our guests to the armory. They will perhaps some tools, and as well make sure they have their communication devices. Please explain to them properly this time how the communications work. Yes, of course. Yes, I will remember. I will endeavor to not forget. Okay. Yes, and yes, please, Crix, remember, please, no caffeine. There's a reason why we told you no coffee. Yes, but it was so delicious. I couldn't help myself. I had to have a couple cups. Yes, I understand you had to have a couple cups. This is for another time, please. And so, yes. So please take this envelope. It has 4 tickets for an airship to Ganton. I will go grab what's the word I'm looking for? Connection flight, if you will, connection flight tickets from Ganton to the township where the mortal was found, and so that you and Kidu and Thaldir, you can do your investigation in those areas. Yes. If there is nothing else, please follow Crix and Vilios, if I may speak to you for a moment.
Yes, of course.
So, as if there's nothing else, if as all of you stand and as once you sit next to Fitz, Velios, he looks at you and says, "I'm sorry to hear about your parents and family. I'm sorry for their tragedy that you incurred when you were at a very young age. The reason why I wish to tell you this in secret, without others around, is because I understand that this is a sore point and that you may want to keep this to yourself until you wish to share with those around you. What I can tell you is that your parents' and sadly family's death was a tragedy, which, sorry, that was, as a GM, I'm like, what? That was bad storytelling, Eric. Okay.
All good.
Yes. But something that you may not know about your parents is that they themselves were agents of the Ascended Veil. Their death remained a mystery, and the resulting investigation into the fire which consumed your house was left was concluded in the manner in order to, if you will, finish with a nice tight little neat bow, so that no more questions would be asked, and that the identity of the Veil and their identity as agents would remain silent and a secret. I am sorry that you have had to have this part of your life and that you did not know sooner. Their death is still a mystery to us, and we have not stopped investigating it since. And so, now that you are a member of the Veil, if you wish to continue to be a member of the Veil, you will be informed and will be kept appraised as to any and all pertinent information that you need to know.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
The
Now,
the truth
I
about that still eludes me, and any further evidence or information that the Ascended Veil can provide to help me find justice regarding this would be appreciated.
yes, well, your parents were very good at their job, and if I do say so, made perhaps a few too many enemies, and so we are still looking. Um, I am mostly telling you this now because you yourself have, from our observations of your own investigation, gotten a little too close and a little to the edge of your life a few times. Dare I say, we've had to step in once or twice to keep you safe. So now you're here, and now you know. So let that be a word of warning. Please be more careful.
I'll do my best.
Thank you. That's all I can ask. And now your compatriots are waiting for you. They are probably already at the armory, so just down this hall, follow it all the way to the end, down the set of stairs, second right, and he gives you Fitz gives you directions on how to find your way to the armory. And he says, "Now, if you'll excuse me, I have some more work to do." He gets up and walks out, and Lloyd follows directly on his heels. Yeah. And that is where we are going to end tonight's session, folks. I did promise that we try to do my best to keep to our 10 o'clock end time, which because I love telling the stories. But I also understand that I can't monopolize our time, and so I'm doing my best. And so this seems like a perfect time to finish for today, before we move on to traveling to Ganton and the neighboring area of Alphas. And so I have my name is, what am I trying to say here? My name is Eric. I have been your one of episode 3, our episode entitled "Something Furry Happened on the Way to the Forum." With me telling this story today has been Dominic, M. John, Kevin, and John. Come back next week as we continue part 2 of 4 of our story here. And don't forget, Mondays, Coy, remind me if I missed part of this past Monday's. I caught part of it. I didn't finish it, so I'm still on the. So it's part 3. Okay, part 3 of our of the Monday one shot. 3 of the Monday one shot continues on Monday with our GM Keen, who I'm actually very much enjoying listening to his storytelling, his dulcet tones as he is telling his story. So I need to
They got
catch up.
so much info on that time loop. It was so cool. It was so good.
I missed the time loop. I saw the. Anyways. Enough of this. I said we were done. We're done. So
If
on
you
that
want to
note,
know, chat, you gotta watch.
exactly. If you want to know, you got to archive archive in here on Twitch has some of our past episodes. YouTube is where you will find the other episodes. I understand that there's been a bit of a backlog, and so they should be up there as soon as we possibly can get them up there. So I apologize for that. But if you catch them here on Twitch a week before, a week after, they're here on Twitch up to a week, and then they go to the archives or the YouTube. So on that note, yes, we have Cat. Oh, I wish. Oh, Mike, where's the Duchess is sleeping. I do not wish to disturb the Duchess. I will leave the Duchess in her little nesting. On that note, folks, thank you everyone for joining us. See you next week. Some of you on Mondays, and remember, keep rolling those dice. Thank you very much. Have a good one.